What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations. I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And one of the other things I do is once a month I host Epic Online Conversations for Fathers that are co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's National Fatherhood Organization, and Dove Men Care. And you know I always say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Most Tuesday nights we bring two outstanding Black American lady thought leaders on to talk about what's going on in the world of social political, mainly political these days in their country, the United States, because I'm in Canada, in Toronto. We were going to do something post vice presidential debate last night, but I said to the ladies during the day yesterday, I think we should wait. And you know what? All of you are going to benefit because since last night, there's been a whole other whack of stuff going on, plus stuff they haven't had a chance to talk about. So let's welcome, as always, Aisha K. Staggers and Jill Jones. What's going on, ladies?
Oh,
There's one. There's two. Bing, bing. What's
Hey,
what's
hey,
going on, family? How you doing?
good.
good, good.
Are we ready?
Yep,
Yes,
fire it up, like Christine said. Fire it
ready
up.
to go.
Okay, well, let's get after it. First things first. What did you think about last night's debate?
Oh my God, that fly was so tenacious.
I know. I thought Jill was gonna go there first.
That fly was so tenacious. I swear to gosh, he was hanging on there. That was something. But no, honestly, oh, Kamala did so well. She did so well in introducing herself to the entirety of America. And she really proved that she's not just ready to be vice president, but she's ready to be president. And on day one. And so for the first time, I felt calm, a sense of calm. And Mike Pence, milk, mayonnaise, and white bread. What can I say? I mean, that's just it. I was telling my
He
daughter
needs
and I
some
watched it.
milk. He needs some milk.
my my daughter and I were talking about this because she watched from her college dorm and we were on the phone together watching, and I said, you know what? Usually you need a bucket, a mop, and all kinds of things to clean up bloodshed. All his wife needs to bring is a Swiffer
Oh
Oh
because
Lord.
God, it's so
because
Oh
true.
Lord.
because
Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
milkmen don't bleed. It's like just
no.
and I was kind of yes, once again disappointed in the moderator. She was better, but again disappointed in the moderator.
She's
Um,
awful. She was
next time,
awful.
next time, just get Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I was like
Like,
wondering, did she like just write those out when she was in the bathroom before she went on set? Because those questions for me were out of touch and not connected at all to, they were just weak, weak.
yeah, yeah, and I'm waiting. I'm really waiting for at least someone on the Biden side, Biden or Harris, to when um, Pence or Trump says when they bring up, okay, let's talk about um, Black Americans, okay, and the first thing out their mouth is, well, we did criminal justice. I wish one of them would say, criminal justice isn't the only Black issue.
You're
It's not
right.
just a Black issue. It's like they act like this is the Black issue, okay,
Right. It's
and no,
insulting and
it is.
yeah.
It is very insulting because it's like we care about healthcare, we care about our families, we care about jobs, we care about everything, but we also seem to care about things that affect us, and more so than anything, racism, systemic racism, isn't just in criminal justice. It's in education, it's in social justice, it's in everything. It's in work, it's in employment, it's in everything.
Yeah.
Jill, what did you think about last night's conversation?
Well, I'll admit at first I was a little bit dampened by it. I just was kind of like, what is this? I wanted Kamala to really go in with the guns, but then I realized that having the temperament sort of like she could go in and easily excavate, Mike Pence. But I felt that her restraint and how she played that and held back, I think she maintained the gains. And I think that was what was important. She still did a fair amount of excavation on them without totally unraveling everything. But so for me, it took me a minute to digest what I was witnessing because I was so infuriated with him talking over her, mansplaining,
Yeah,
running
what's the
rampant.
story with that? Like, is that a like? It just seems that that's a Republican tactic. No matter if it's Kamala Harris or if it's Biden, the talking over.
I think that they
And
should
I have
just
to
say, I'm going
say,
to cut the mic on your ass. Like, I mean,
it's
for
very
real, I really
condescending.
do.
It was very condescending. But I've found in careers it's also a very white male tactic too,
Totally.
particularly for against women, but particularly against women of color. And you can be at a round table, and I've been at these tables before where you're talking, and then it's like they jump to talk over you, and it's like, wait a second, I was talking here. I have a place here. I have words to say, and just and they do it in such a condescending manner, like that little lady, that like little lady, you know, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, but and I'm glad that she stood her ground on that. And even though he was condescending to the moderator, you could see the male female racial dynamic as well, because you could see that she had to fight the white woman to say, wait a second
Yeah.
here, he just he treated you like a servant too, but then you go and you treat me, you really saw
Even
some
a notch
plantation that
lower.
yeah, you really saw some plantation dynamics there. And she's like, wait, I shouldn't have to fight you to get equal treatment that you gave to him. That was a really interesting dynamic to see.
Just some comments already coming up. Real Django is going. The moderator was useless, and he's saying they act like the black community is one dimensional.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, there are other things we're talking about for our community. And, for Susan Page, first of all, it was just dismal. I don't understand what she was even thinking with some of her questions. Um, and for me, I think Kamala really handled it amazingly well, considering all of that, because those were the dynamics that were happening. We got to see what many of our Black um, female feminists, our feminists, have said about what it was like in the 60s during that moment. We actually got to witness the hierarchy and the pecking order within it just from that. I mean,
Yeah,
it was kind of astounding. I do love that Pete Buttigieg was out clapping everybody, giving everybody the clap
he
last
really
night
was.
before and after, when he told those people on Fox, when they said, well, how is it that she once supported Medicaid and now she doesn't, and he was like, if you want to, like, split that hair or whatever, maybe we should just ask why an evangelical is on the same level
A
with
porn
with
star.
Trump, with a Trump support, Trump. So
Yeah.
he was out there slaying, like, it was brilliant. But aside from the fact we just have a really serious battle ahead of us. But the one good thing is everybody was still going back to their Twitter feeds to see what dumb stuff Trump was doing while it was going on, because he could just wreck the moment in a second. Like, next thing you know, you were expecting to see White House is on fire. It is on
Yeah.
fire.
Well, we'll get to it later, but some people think
That
it
was
is
the
on
funny
fire, but
thing.
not without the flames, but it's on fire right now.
But see, that was the
Mm-hmm.
thing. I think that was the thing that I liked about Pete Buttigieg, because you got to see how Kamala prepared for this debate versus how Pence prepared. Because remember, Kamala's partner was Pete. And so Pete was able to run the slick stuff with her that Pence would try and play.
Right.
And so she was ready for the slick stuff that Pence was going to do. But Pence wasn't ready for her. Pence tried to be Trumpy, but to be a reserved kind of Trump, and it just didn't work for him.
No,
It
and
didn't work for
everyone,
Trump last
it,
week.
no, and they wanted to go back, and everybody, the sticking point was about because we know Pence didn't answer a lot of questions, and the sticking point was would Biden and Kamala, would
At
they
the
be
court.
packing the court? And, it's funny. I heard Whoopi Goldberg, your dad's favorite show on The View, where she said,
Yes.
why is everybody expecting everybody to be so damn truthful? Because just like Pence is that guy you were talking about, the one in the meeting, they are also that dude, those dudes in meetings that is on your team, or you've all been collaborating, and they sit up
Mm-hmm.
in the meeting and take your idea and use it as if it
Yep.
was theirs. So
Yep.
why do they need to do it? I personally don't want to see any more debates. I don't need to see the train wreck
Neither.
anymore. I think I think Trump is a spectacle himself, and they should just let him unravel. Don't give him the
Yep.
platform. Don't allow him to even be there. Let him unravel in front of our eyes. No debates.
Let,
I think the part about stacking the courts, to be perfectly honest, um, who cares if they do or
Exactly.
they don't? I don't understand why this is such a big question. Who cares? Because the truth is,
I
they're like,
don't.
well, it's going to be some kind of get back, and then once the Republicans get back, then they'll try and do it, and that's not necessarily true. One, two, even if the Democrats do it, the court does need to be expanded because what happens if somebody does die, like, and we'll be in the situation that we're in.
Always a trick
um
bag.
but here's the thing, they have been asking two different questions between the last debate and this debate. They've been asking about packing this court and stacking the courts, not the Supreme Court, the courts.
She spoke
Well,
about that. Remember, she
yeah,
said they out of all
exactly.
the judges, and I'm surprised the media is ignoring it, because she said there's no black people that have been put on the courts,
Yeah,
not
and
just the
not only
Supreme Court, but like all of the courts. We know that
right,
there were 198 across the U.S. that he has appointed, and not
exactly,
one has been a black person.
and
She
not
only,
only
yeah,
yeah, and not only that, but think about this: Mitch McConnell, while everybody else was being overrun with all the stuff and Trump's antics and focused on that, Mitch McConnell was doing what? Letting all the bills that were being passed in Congress,
pile
even
up.
bipartisan bills, pile up. But meanwhile, the only things that he was letting through were the judgeships in lower courts.
Exactly. And they
That
pack
was it.
those.
They
You know,
packed the
they
court.
always snitch on themselves. They always do. And when he said, don't politicize the American people's lives, I wanted to
Yeah,
jump through the television and just have at him.
yeah,
I just wanted to.
yeah.
I think I
Here's
felt the earth shift at that point.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This is what I told somebody today. He's like, "Well, I don't want to do that. I would be so offended if they did that." I said, "You know what? Being able to stack or pack the court is a privilege that comes with the presidency. You don't like it, run for president.
Right.
Period. It would be his decision. Don't don't commit to it or don't commit to it. And guess what? He does not have to make that decision now. He shouldn't have to. It should be as needed.
But they're making it a wedge, an issue
A wedge issue.
that most people weren't even talking about, and didn't even really know about, and didn't even really care about. First of all, we also have a very strong group of people that want these no more lifetime appointments. So we
Right.
will be dealing with that because I happen to be one of those people. I don't want
Me
these
too.
bitches up there for a lifetime. I think I just don't. I think I don't even want senators anymore. I mean, really, honestly, some of them, maybe our lives would have changed in such a
Yeah.
more organic and holistic way had people gone and retired and passed the baton. You see, you pass the baton when you know there's still more work to be done. So I don't
Yeah.
understand why they're still there. There will always be work
I
that
think
needs to be done.
Ocasio Cruz bill, the Ocasio Cruz bill to limit terms is a great bill. Will it pass? No, because
No,
the people who want to keep their jobs will never vote for it. But I think it's a
no.
great bill to put term limits on Congress and the Senate.
So let me ask you, going back to the debate, were you disappointed that Kamala didn't go for the knockout punch, or were you happy with her just picking her spots?
I think her
I
knockout
wanted a
punch,
fight.
but see, I think her knockout punch was when she told them that they're coming for you.
Yeah.
I think that was it. They're coming for you. But she had a couple zingers. The other one was when she said, "Sure, I'll take a vaccine if the doctors say so."
Yeah.
But if Trump tells me no,
Yeah,
That
she
that
was
just
a
had
one
a
shot.
different,
was
she
it.
actually just had a different finesse than like
Right.
drill, 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 drill. So, I mean, for me, I fully got it. And I
Yeah.
know the
It's
that sometimes is the best way to
yeah.
gut a fish.
Yeah. It was
Sometimes it's better.
the thing of it is that it was very.
Slowly.
We had to get back into seeing someone do it the Obama way
Okay.
of getting at it because we've been so used to Trump just
That's true.
rude and brass and snotty and evil and just you
Mm-hmm.
know sticking the knife in and not caring which end is up. But we remember how Obama used to stick people and throw. For example, Nancy threw some very subtle shade at Trump today when she was giving her press conference, and she had on a mask with oranges on it, so that he knew
It was
she
shade.
was talking to him. Okay, so
All
I think
I
right.
mean, I just want to say one thing that the ironic thing when the fly landed on Pence's head
Oh,
was right
jeez.
when he was denying that there's systemic racism in
racism. Yeah,
America, and he was
The
indignant about it
I
too.
when I heard that line, I said, I don't need to watch any more of this.
I said the same thing. And
me
I,
too.
what's very, very spiritual about this, because I do believe that it was a sign from, Devi herself, like the goddess. I believe because everybody knows that the totem for a fly means just imagine, okay, but it typically means lies and deceit and
Right,
deception and something rotten, and it comes from something really
it's an
bad.
omen.
Rot, it's an omen.
Un- Unfortunately, we had a few allies who took it upon themselves to make racialized jokes about it in bad taste.
Hmm.
Just don't.
okay. So just wrapping up then the debate. Who won? Was there a winner?
She did.
Harris.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Will this make any shift on the final election results?
It could, because her numbers, according to a few, I know people are like in denial, like, oh, it's CNN and it's MSN, and even just the men have started to respond to her sensibility, which is very interesting.
Okay.
The white women are not going to change probably, but when they show those focus groups afterwards, you can kind of see how easy it is that people can be manipulated. I used to love
Mm.
focus groups because by the end of it, people who started out saying, I hate that doll, were going, I love this doll. And it all had to do with who was the strongest character in the focus group. So you could get your results. That's why this stuff is always sketchy.
I've never seen as many racial tropes as I have today. In In other words, they were trying to call her an angry black woman without calling her one. So they would say
Hmm.
things like, um, she was too arrogant and too
Oh,
sure
uppity
of
is how
herself.
they, uppity is
Yeah,
something they
uppity,
think we
yeah,
all get,
and things
right?
things like that. And of course, Harlan, whatever his name from Fox, called her
A
a
bitch.
what he called her insufferable bitch.
Insufferable bitch. I called him a few things too.
Wow. You're
Hmm.
And he
kidding.
No.
no, and he Fox News has yet to punish him.
And he's a bitch made man, not even a man. He's just bitch made. And I
Yeah,
told him, you're just
they
bitch
have.
made. And they need to get rid of him. And somebody, let's just be honest. Everybody, can people start coming for old Rupert Murdoch, or is he just another piece of taxidermy like Pence was sitting there? Because I looked at that old dusty rust bucket in the ocean that his wife took him into, Jerry Hall, and I'm sitting here wondering, what the fuck? I mean, can they just get rid of them? It's time. Go after Murdoch. Get his
Yeah.
fucking dusty, rusty. I couldn't tell if she found him in the ocean, diving in the water and pulled him up
Oh
from a
my
relic from the fucking
goodness.
Titanic. He's so fucking old.
And
Well,
Man
mean,
titties and
the thing of
all.
it is that they are quick to jump on any black person that calls another black person
Yes,
Uncle
they are.
Tom, and they will do entire segments about this and call it racist. But when he called her an insufferable bitch, radio silence.
But how much do we have to keep taking? How much? I mean, why wouldn't anybody sitting on that panel just reach over and just bash him in the mouth? Like, I know that. Why? Why do people have to be nice to this person?
oh
Because
wow.
it's like, for me, that is Uncle Tomming it if you don't put your foot in his ass. I mean, like, if you don't, then I'm starting to think you're in that business. So if you don't do it, I'm starting to think you got a problem too.
Hmm.
Okay.
They
Well,
need to come for Fox. The whole Fox
let's
thing needs to be dismantled.
move a little bit
It's as
forward, but
bad as those fucking Proud Boys.
okay. But as you can see, Jill was not waiting to come on live tonight. So, but
It's a
just
terrorist organization. Fox is a terrorist organization, a domestic terrorist organization. I cannot say it any clearer. Look at everything they incite in people. It is not legit.
okay. I before we move on, some people are saying some things. So, Real Django, flies swarm to poop. Dr. Chachi says hello. Dr. Chachi, when you coming
Hi,
back?
Dr.
Yes.
Tachi.
When you coming back? Dr. Tachi hosts the livest live stream on media tech and pop culture. It's called Mediascope on every Wednesday, most Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern
Mhm.
time on Instagram Live. I haven't seen on Instagram Live for a bit, but 6 p.m. Eastern time live on Facebook Live, Periscope, LinkedIn, and WJMS Radio. So, Dr. Tachi, we want you back. We're members of your fan club. I'm even wearing your shirt tonight. Be more So, come on down. Real Dango says he's voted already last Thursday. And Real Dango says,
Okay.
Dusty and Rusty. Dang, Jill. LOL. Okay,
Dusty and
folks.
Rusty.
If you think this was fire, we're turning up the kiln now. 45 now doesn't want to do a virtual debate. The next debate, I guess the debate commission said, you know what, because he who knows if he still is or not suffering from COVID, they're saying it may be not a great idea to have him participate in a debate. So let's do it virtual. Now there's been back and forth all during the day today about it. I think the last that was left, I think they've agreed to do the 20 and on the 22nd now, and this and that, and then Biden says he doesn't want to do the last debate. So what's going on with this next debate thing? Like, talk to me.
Well, um, this morning the debate committee announced that they were going to do a virtual debate,
Yep.
and Trump said no. He was on with Maria Bart, whatever her name is, for an hour. He was on for an hour talking like a crazy jackass. Oh my god! But he said she dropped the news and he said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it if it's virtual. I'll just do rallies instead. Now remember, I told you guys I was telling you guys before, he was the super spreader. He is the super
He's
spreader.
patient zero.
Yeah. So he's going to go host rallies instead. Well, Joe Biden said that do he would do he would show up and that he would do a town hall and talk to people. So then Trump got his doctor to say that, well, he'll be good by that Saturday and that they can do it on the 22nd, and then do one that following um, week, which was the 29th, 3 or 4 days right before the election. Joe
Yep.
Biden said, no way, not right before
Right.
the election. No way.
No,
He said, I'll do the one on the 22nd, but we don't need to do a third debate after that.
exactly.
And so Trump is like, no, I'll just go do whatever. So as it stands right now, they're trying to figure out that 22nd debate. But I'm like Joe Biden.
Don't do it. Don't
No,
do it.
because
He blew his
because
chance. He was
but not only
irresponsible.
that,
So you're going to reward him
yeah, but not
with a
only that,
debate?
we don't. First of all, look at all this. There's no truth here. There's no truth here. Even if they want to do a face-to-face debate on October 22nd, there's no truth here. Last week we did the post-debate show, and as we were getting off the post-debate show, the news came across that Hope Hicks had been diagnosed positive with COVID. So I remember that because after we got off, I was sitting in the same spot waiting to see whether or not Trump and Melania had gotten their tests had come back positive. And that happened Thursday morning. They don't tell us when he was last tested negative. So you don't know how long he was contagious. You don't know if he's still contagious. He's asking to bring a note from his doctor, not take a test, bring a note from his doctor to say he's okay to participate. This isn't elementary school. This is real. This is real life. You have a disease that kills people, and
Okay.
he wants a doctor's excuse.
We and folks, we will get to 45 and the coronavirus. So Jill's just lightly going on it now. I just want to
Yeah.
catch up here in the comments. Black Beauty is saying I'm listening to the energy here tonight. Dr. Tati says rallies equal clan meeting.
Yes.
and
I call them campaign rallies.
Yeah.
and Black Beauty saying I really wish Joe wouldn't debate Trump again. Joe has made his point and his stand.
No,
But
there's no
remember,
need.
ladies, what I
There's
was
no need.
saying a few weeks ago? If I was
You didn't
Biden,
think there
I
was
wouldn't
going to
have
be
debated
one.
him in the first
I'd
place.
be like,
Yeah.
bye. See ya. You
Yeah.
fucked up when you came the first time and you didn't show up right. So for
Right.
me, I'd be about my business and go on. He can't be trusted. I mean, God, he brought COVID the first time. What's he going to bring next? An AK-47? I mean, honestly,
See, Trump's the one that needs
I
these
don't
debates
trust
because
him.
no, Trump's the one that needs these debates because he's behind.
Hmm.
He's behind the eight ball.
And he just
Biden doesn't
unravels
need the
every
debate.
day. Every day you see the psycho in him. You know, people today we're talking about other people um,
Hmm.
had live just normal people in life online talking
Hmm.
about things. A lot of people who have parents who have dementia are experiencing this thing with him. A few people see that tapping that he does when he taps is associated with the Lewy body dementia, which
Hmm.
there's so many things happening. And I'm telling you, the more he goes on, the more he becomes familiar with something really jacked up in your life with older
Yeah.
parents or
And
grandparents, and you go, oh
and
my
the more
God.
he goes on, the more he does all these kooky
It's very
things, the
revealing.
more the more he needs to do a debate to undo all the damage that he does.
They need to
And
be
that's
trying
the
to figure
problem.
out, Aisha, they need to be trying to figure out how to get those damn nuclear codes away from his control,
Yeah.
because this is somebody
All
who's
right.
mentally cuckoo bird.
Okay, I want to stay though on the whole thing about
Oh,
debate strategy
Yeah.
because when we get to talking about 45 and then you guys can really let loose.
okay.
Right now though I'm saying
Hmm.
so debate
There's, I mean,
strategy.
there is none. Biden needs to just keep doing what he's doing.
Right.
He's doing more events. He wants to do more town halls. Good. He wants to do more
The
town
town
halls
halls I like.
with Kamala. Good. Because he doesn't need to have a back and forth with Trump.
No.
He did it. He showed the world how Trump is. He did his job.
Okay, so oh man, this is great because the comments are flying now. So Black
Hmm.
Beauty is saying, plus I don't like the fact that 45 will not release authorization of his medical records to be released. We
Right.
really don't know what's up with his COVID.
Yep. Yep.
Dion Jean says, should good question here. Very good question. Says, should black people as a group be more demanding with their vote? Which pieces of legislation can we get included, removed to further our agenda? Good question.
Well,
I think
that's dependent really upon who we put in the House and the Senate. They're the ones who are
those
going to
are,
make those
yeah,
bills. It's that's really dependent upon that. The president signs those bills into law.
right.
If he's got those, if we put those people who are going to put those agenda items in in his party and put those things forward, and we have the House and the Senate, he's going to sign them into law.
Well, it's true. It's like
Easy.
what
It's
was
just like
happening
that.
in Georgia. They,
Hmm.
or different places, if you do not support your local government, you
Yep.
lose. It's for some reason, our people have just, think there's just this one figurehead, one person that's going to help, and that's not how it goes. I mean, I don't know if people need to sit down and practice civics in their house and really teach their children, but it's called micromanaging. And as
Yep.
I keep harping on, maintain the gains and take another step. Boom, boom, boom. But it's all local, and you have to work in those areas, like who your police chiefs are, who you're
Yeah.
voting for as the
Yep.
judges. Every single person in your community. We have had some great black leadership going out there and running, and none of us show up to vote. It's
Yeah.
so we get what we deserve, and then like, I can't get nothing the white man is doing. No, get your asses out there and you fucking vote. It's really
Yeah.
simple. And figure out
Because
who people are, because otherwise we get sold out like we're standing on the blocks every single time. We don't go, we don't have a voice. So you might as well just put yourself on the block and let yourself get sold around like your
yeah.
ancestors did.
Because think about it. You think about these large swaths of districts full of black people, and they have a small population of white people,
Mm-hmm.
but the sheriff is white. How did he get elected? That small party of white people in there, they voted regularly
Mm-hmm.
over, and the black population didn't vote in numbers like they could have. Those numbers matter. And it's like, get
A
your mama,
lot.
your grandmama, get your 18-year-old cousin out to vote. It makes a difference. Numbers matter. They have gerrymandered the districts so much for Congress and for governorships and for presidencies. But when it comes to these lower things like police chiefs and things like
Absolutely.
that, you can get around that. You
And they've
really can.
gerrymandered our people's brains, because
Yeah.
you need to stop being so hopeless and hapless and apathetic. Because as long as you're alive and you're continuing to breathe air, there's always a possibility that you can make a change.
Yeah.
And if you just get rid of that negativity, because we have to change how we are seen, and it's being vigilant and micromanaging.
Yeah.
And nobody's saying that one leader is going to be the perfect leader as the president, but what we're doing is constructing the fiber
Yeah.
of this quilt or blanket of who we are. And there's far too many of us in every state to be quite dominant and our voices to be heard.
Yeah.
And
For
the way
example,
to back up all of our protests is to back up the protest with actual voting. It would be
yeah.
so a sin if all those people out there marching didn't take their asses to the poll. I don't even know if I would even understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, a lot of people don't realize there's an election every year. There's an election every year, and there's special elections,
Hmm.
but there's an election every year. Most people just think of every 4
I
years
know.
or every 2 years. No, there is an election in your district every year. Somebody is running for something every year. The
Yeah.
more you participate, the more you make it a regular part of life. I vote every year. Every November,
Me too.
I'm voting for something.
So
Like
Aaron
out
Lay,
here oh,
go,
sorry, go
And
on.
no,
even and even
Aaron
one
Lay
more thing,
says,
Dr. Vibe, first,
go ahead.
and
Absolutely,
also
please do.
and also to make sure those years that you don't vote, those are the years they put forth those questions like how should we spend the money?
Hmm.
They they don't, it's not just people you're voting for. You're voting for actual questions. They put questions on the ballot. So keep that in mind.
And if you
I just
start showing up in your neighborhood for
Yeah.
even that local council, it's important to be visible, to be seen.
Yeah.
I think also to another point, and it's another conversation topic. If you're an American, especially a racialized American,
Hmm.
take part in the census.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just as important as the elections.
Yeah.
True.
So
Yeah.
this
The
right.
census
So
and the American Community Survey, which they do every 3 years or so.
and Dr. Chai said, and there's real power in the local and state positions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Diogene says, thanks for your answers. I agree with the involvement at a local level. Thank you so much. And Aaron Lay says, man, Jill's getting a big fan club. Thank you, Jill, for mentioning the dementia. Watch out, folks. I don't.
Because
Jill's.
Erin informed me about it, and she did a great live broadcast today about it. And I keep telling her, please get the word out because she notices the similar things that were going on with her own father that he does. And I've noticed the tapping and then the thigh. I used to think he was just superstitious, but apparently it's a very common trait of this Lewy body dementia.
Black Beauty says the ladies are on point about this, and with the thing being a pandemic, most people have lots of time to organize and learn about how to connect with our black leaders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. And Real Dango has fire coming from the platform tonight. Thank you everyone for your comments.
Thank
Keep them
you.
flowing. Keep the ladies love it. I love it, and that's why we're here to just have community and just talk about important things, especially to America, but also the world. So now let's go to 45 and COVID. Because we haven't had an opportunity. Jill's face
Mm.
already. Like he was diagnosed with it, all the stuff going on about the miscommunication amongst the doctors through Mark Meadows, his chief of staff. Now he's saying the latest thing he said. I just got it here. The latest thing I've heard is he said he's cured of COVID despite isolation and lack of tests. So, ladies, let's take it back to when you heard your president
Hold on, I gotta
had.
pull up my contact. Look, I gotta pull up my contact tracing map that I did. I did my own contact tracing on him.
So
Okay.
what? So let's take us through both of you what your thoughts have been since you were told to now about 45 handling COVID and saying, "Oh, it's him telling the public it's not a serious thing."
Okay, hold up. Hold
She
up.
has, I
September.
mean,
I
I don't
believe that
know.
he I believe that he contracted it around the 15th, between the 15th and 17th of September, because the week after that, he was doing rallies back to back and he was doing all kinds of events. I don't think he got tested that week at all. And remember, they were saying at first that he got tested every week, but he told us that he gets tested regularly, which he then told the press corps that that meant like every 2 3 days, sometimes once a week. So I don't think he got tested the week of the 20th through the 26th, which the 26th was the super spreader event. I think that the 15th through the 17th, he got it from one of his at one of his rallies. And then I think that he knew he had it, but he kept going. He went into I think he knew at the 20 on the 26th that he had it. I think he knew when they had the other event on the 27th when he went to the military families that he's now trying to blame. And I think that he went to the debate on the 29th having it. And this is why. I believe that when they got to the debate, his family showed up late on purpose because they were testing people before the debate to make sure they were testing everybody at the debate venue with the quick test to make sure that they were not positive. His crew shows up late and they just took their word for it. They did the honor system with them. And then on the 30th is when we hear that Hope Hicks has it. And then the Thursday we hear that he has it.
Well, typically there's a,
Incubation
they put
period.
you in the incubation period, and so they want you to quarantine for 14 days, and typically around the 5th or the 7th day is when it, you pretty much have
Mm-hmm.
symptoms. So I would say that's possible. There was a point where I just wasn't even sure if he had it or not, and he was just pretending. And sadly, I hate to say this, I still don't know. I just don't know. I'm like, give the man an Oscar. I tweeted the other day because I honestly just don't know if there's anything that I would put past him,
Mm-hmm.
because until Rudy Giuliani or I know Chris Christie, we haven't heard from him in 5 days, but these are some of the people who claim to have gotten it are ride or dies. And I'm just not
Yeah.
sure. I'm not saying that there wasn't somebody in the mix who had it that could have given it to all these people that he's met, because that's the other parallel game going. This is like the Sting when you watch that movie. There's like two things going on at the same time. And how, you have these people coming in, maybe they didn't test the families when they came in, so the odds of having people going in to the thing in the White House, the Gold Star families, yeah, maybe somebody did have it, or the Pentagon people, because he did try to sway our view really fast to the military by saying Hope Hicks got it from the military guys. So it's always really key for me to like pay attention to what diversions he creates in the road, because he's always trying to get you off something but send you down, the wooded path. So and then the breathing coming up the stairs, I got it, that was bad, but he couldn't walk a flight of stairs. He couldn't even walk downstairs a ramp, let alone go upstairs. And I don't know the healing process he's gone through. I don't know. Although a girlfriend of mine said, Jill, he has it. I was on those steroids and I replaced my whole backyard fence, and it's a big yard.
Yeah.
So I was like, she goes, I felt invincible. And I was like, okay, it's possible. But sadly for me, until somebody is really like kicks the bucket, I don't know if I'll believe that he ever had it.
I
I,
don't think this is his first time having it. And the reason I say this, and I've said this before,
It's
because
possible.
he's had so many people around him have it, like in people in close
Mm-hmm.
contact, like the valet who used to give him his food, and
He had
then
it, right.
right,
So
and then all these people like who were in such close contact with him. He had a
Kellyanne,
secret service, but even no, I mean even before that, like
yeah,
okay.
throughout
before.
from March on, he had
Stephen
a Secret
Miller's
Service
wife was the
person.
first one who had
Yep,
it. Remember, Stephen Miller's wife
yep.
was the very first, I
And
believe.
he had a Secret Service member who was driving in his car with him that had it. And that's why I said that he's got to be the super spreader, because every time they went on a rally, someone close to him always
Had it.
ended up with it. And it was someone that was an advisor, or like a no-name advisor, or someone who was close to him, who served him directly. And I'm like, how is he not getting it? How is he not getting it? Unless he was getting it.
And then I don't know if maybe when he went into the hospital, he really went in for something else. I mean, we don't really know what his medical records are. I tried to see if his limp is still there, or that slew foot he had going on, or the whatever is happening, because they're all of the symptoms could present as COVID. Um, they just could. But
I mean,
I don't
I've
want
had
to take us down
Ibuprofen.
that road of a conspiracy theory. I don't want to
I,
do that. But
I want to
I mean,
jump
I
in
just don't
quickly
know.
here. Just some comments. Dr. Tachi goes, loud, heavy sigh. Real
yeah.
Dango goes, he's not cure of.
Right.
Dr. Tachi again says, nonsense, he still has it, just like his Lord of the Flies VP.
That's a good one.
And
Very, very
Black
good.
Beauty says, yes, ma'am, I agree. Yep, he is who he is, just nefarious. Liar, he lies more than he tells the truth. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Real Dango says 45 is crazy. And some of those 45 applicants, I call them, who tested positive are nuts. They better act like they have their own brains and get away from the super spreading nitwits.
That's true. I mean, I said the week before if he would survive October, which was really
You know that
strange.
I'm never gonna forget that
I
quote as long
know.
as you live, because you said
Mhm.
that, and the following week, bang, real. Just going, what is going on with Jill? Has she got something going on we don't know about? You're a dangerous lady. No wonder Prince took you on, because he knows he was better with you than without you.
He was. He was. It was kind of like maybe that's why I'm like, no, he's fine. He's fine. Because I found that a little bit weird that
Yeah,
I just was like, well,
yeah,
he better hope he
yeah.
survives it. I
Real
mean,
Jangle says he had a stroke,
something happened. Yeah, for
and
sure.
then and Black Beauty says, yeah, and let's not forget Pence did have it already. And not to throw shade, but what was up with Pence's pink eye last night?
Did Pence have it already?
I don't
That's
know, but all I know is
I
he
don't think
canceled
so, but
his
I
thing
thought
for
that.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that. See, I thought that Pence had COVID eye last night.
I did too.
all right.
Both of them. He looked unwell, and also he canceled his thing. Although you see, Trump is such a psycho. He would look at all those tweets because he reads. He doesn't like criticism, but he gets other ideas from other people online. He
Hmm.
totally does, and then goes, "Okay, we're
Yeah.
going to cancel this because we're going to make it seem like you have COVID." Don't so you just never know. But this is a guy that one day his luck's going to run out. He's really going to be asking and begging for help, and somebody you just don't know whether to put your hand in there or the thing comes and takes it off. So
I, but see, here's my thing: the people that you're not hearing from, that just went into quarantine or
thank
isolation
you.
or quiet, those are the people that are sick. Bill Barr, Rudy Giuliani, they're sick.
Oh
Rudy
my God,
Giuliani
Rudy
coughed.
was
He
hacking
coughed through
at
an
a
entire interview.
interview, and then he was at an event in New York the day after, and he was coughing
Yeah.
his ass off coming out because the photographers got him over there hacking, and he had no mask on. I don't know why
so,
they didn't just kick him the hell out.
so here's the
I mean,
question.
he's in the group. He's not just in the group. He's like the ringleader of the group. I mean, he's like what, 180?
And then can I
So,
just say one thing, Dr. Vibe? This is a
say
really
whatever
interesting
you'd
thing.
like, Jill.
When you look at it, I mean, we're dealing with all of these really rather old men
Yeah.
who are sexually repressed for one reason or another, probably use Viagra, don't even think of that. And sexual repression has a lot to do with the aim of power and wanting all of these things, and that they can't get in any other. It's the same primal release, the same feeling. And unfortunately, their era of guys don't think it's manly to have this mask on. I mean, as if,
Yeah, but and so I don't know if any of you heard, but
Rudy's
listen to
teeth probably get in the way of his mask.
let's like the environment, the warehouse, no warehouse, White House. No one wears masks.
Mm-mm.
Like I'm
Not
listening to
even the
some of these
aides,
stories.
the lower
No
level
one's
aides.
no one's wearing masks.
It's like being in hell and everybody
Yeah.
is has to follow the devil.
Like
It's really like you don't even have and such peer pressure on people. That's
yes,
to see how gutless and talk about insufferable and how spineless these other. I wouldn't vote for not one Republican senator. They are spineless. Why would you want
Yeah.
them leading anything in your state? Why? They don't even have the
Well,
guts to stand up to this piece of shit charlatan.
well, you heard Mitch McConnell today. He didn't exactly say it, but he said he's not going over to the White House
Yeah, he did try to say
because
that.
they they don't have their things together over
But
there.
just because it's and you still don't do anything, he's
anything
as
about it?
gutless as
Yeah,
the rest of them.
yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
knowing that Charles Manson is down the street butchering a bunch of people, and you go, "Well, I'm not going over there.
Oh, look
I'm
at
just going to
this.
stay
Real
here."
Django. Yikes. Jill's talking about Viagra and sexual repression. Yikes.
And all those
And-
Proud Boys, did you know it was there? Who told me that? Django, I think, told me they're banned from masturbating. That's
okay,
what's wrong with
we're
them.
not gonna go
Okay.
down that
Yeah.
road tonight. We're
I
gonna go
know.
south. And he
But
also said, but I like what he also
I
said.
gotta say this about Trump.
He said,
He
Stagger straightened me out earlier today. Thank you, Aisha. Hashtag COVID eye.
Oh yeah.
He does.
Real
But
Django,
I
we
gotta say
love
this
you.
though.
We
I know,
love you,
we
Real
do.
Django. Look at this. Dr. Tati saying they're playing a dangerous game. Well, when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
But
Well,
I
how
gotta tell you
crazy is
though,
it? Oh,
whoever, I mean, Trump, I expected him to get it. And you know how you can get it, like they're saying you can get it in your through your eyes and stuff now. But his pores are so big. Oh my God, his skin is so porous. I was like, and to not wear a mask, it's like, dude, you need to cover these pores. I'm surprised he didn't get it through the pores in his skin.
the
Whoever's,
bronzer that he's
I
using is
know,
just bad on the pores. And it looks
whoever,
like he tried to put a filler in with some kind of prosthetic to balance out that his face was sagging if you look really close, because I zoomed
yeah,
in the video, and it really is like something really happened. Is it Bell's palsy? What is going on from what occurred? And this
he
man is not,
definitely,
he'd rather play
yeah.
hero, fun and games,
Whoever's
John
So,
doing his,
Wayne.
whoever is doing his makeup, you got to remember he's putting them in danger too. They've got to get like this close on him,
No, they're probably
and
using something this far back because
and
just
and,
taking
and
a
he won't
mop
wear a
and rubbing.
mask.
so Black Beauty says, sorry, so sorry. It's not Pence that had it. It's just, well, it's Aisha's favorite new press secretary that tested
No, no,
positive.
that's no. His press secretary is the one that's married to Stephen Miller.
Miller.
Yes, she
Yeah,
had it.
Yes, but also
he had
your
it.
favorite, the White House's
Oh, I'm
press
so happy.
said
When
yes.
I heard that, I was like, yes,
I knew you'd do that. I know how much you love Kelly.
Kaylee
Kaylee,
McEnany,
sorry, Kellyanne. I get it wrong.
And
Uh,
Kellyanne
Kaylee.
has it
and
too.
Kelly, yeah, there you go. And
And
Kellyanne.
Kellyanne's daughter is telling everything. She's
Oh,
tasting
wasn't
her
that
mother and
crazy?
everything. Oh my
Wasn't
God.
that crazy?
She's
Black
dragging her mom.
Real Django says they better fumigate the White House before Joe and Kamala get there.
Exactly. It's like I'm like, can Donald Trump talking about injecting bleach? Can they inject the White House with bleach?
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing, and their obsession. All I can say is Obama didn't get COVID, so knock on wood. But
So here,
they're
we're gonna move on to another conversation piece, and we're just gonna mention, just out of interest sake, anyone, if you catch what Michelle Obama had to say this week in a taped commentary, check it out. It's quite interesting.
what?
Quite interesting.
Yeah, it is.
So we're still bad. There's still a battle about COVID stimulus relief. when 45 got out, what was it? Yet was it 2 days ago now that the last week said nope, we're not doing anything more.
Yeah.
Stock market goes down. Next
Hmm.
morning, well, I think maybe some parts of it. What up with that?
He said maybe we can get $1,200 checks with as long as my signature's on it. He wants his signature on
Again,
all the checks
again. And you
again.
know how long it took for people to get it? It took 3 months. And to be honest, $1,200 is not enough. It's chump change. It's like $6 a day. So he can go take that and shove it up his behind, because the reality is he's been breadcrumbing this country. He even promised to give seniors a rushed card. I don't know if you guys saw this before we came on, a Medicaid card for their medicine. $200 cards they're having printed up,
Gift
and
cards.
they're trying to get it to people. $200 doesn't cover your
Nothing.
grandma's medication. You know,
Definitely
he
doesn't
is
cover
so,
insulin.
I just want to take that and just shove it right in his face, because the reality is it's nothing. I keep saying, don't give me something and try to tell me that it's dear when I know it's from the bargain bin bonus rack.
No. But our neighbor to the north, Justin
Hello.
Trudeau, he's going to give parents who need it, what is it, like $500 per child
Yeah.
to help with
Like now,
off.
let alone though, the thing is, so much money's going out. God knows it's going to get repaid, but they're not playing around compared to what's going on in
We
most of
have
the
people
United States.
standing in line, they're hungry and they're waiting on food. There are, neighbors that have boxes that are coming from the food bank. I see it. We try to supplement it, but this is not on. He will not get my vote based upon the disaster, as Kamala said, catastrophic president. He there's not even, and don't give me the shit about an economy. That's in the past. Hello. And how he's had, let's, okay, if he's so great, then he should have pulled this thing together by now if we're supposed to function with this. Oh, bright
Hmm.
eyes, come on, do something, do something. He can't do anything. He's incompetent. And right now I feel they're trying to figure out how to get him out of this gracefully, his family, because this is not going to be nice at all. And anybody
Yeah.
who worked with him will never be able to work a day in Washington again or hold their head up, maybe even in civil society. Not one.
Someone, yeah, someone was saying the same thing to me yesterday, and that they're trying to figure out a way for him to bow out gracefully, where he looks strong and he looks tough, and he doesn't look weak, to get out of this right before election night, because
Okay.
the election night's going to be just
Well, I
pull
so
him
I want
out.
to get back to our original conversation topic on this segment. Do either of you feel there's going to be any sort of stimulus package before the
No,
election?
no.
No, I think the only thing
So,
that they're going to try to get through is for the airlines, and he might go for that just because
Because
it'll
his friends can
boost,
rob it and
right.
get some money for
It'll boost the
themselves.
corporations, and
Yeah, the
that's
but
got it.
are
corporation.
so who does that look bad more for? The Republicans or the
Oh,
Democrats?
they'll blame it on us because
They'll
they'll
blame it
say
on the
Nancy didn't
Democrats.
negotiate it. But here's the thing, nobody gives a damn what his Republican brain dead followers think anymore. In fact, who cares about them anymore? Who really cares? I personally can't even hold a conversation with one. Actually, they're not Republicans. The Republican Party is dead. This is the Trump Party. This is not a Republican Party anymore. And I think I'm going to refute. I'm going to stop calling it the Republican Party. I think I'm just going to call it the Trump Party.
So
Yeah.
do the Democrats run a risk of losing support if there's no agreement, even a partial agreement?
No,
No.
no, and I think the reason is because Trump took the bar on that. It was like, remember when in 2018, and they had to come to an agreement on the budget, and Trump said, "I'll take the mantle on this," and Chuck Schumer
Yes.
said, "Yep, you're happy," and got real happy. Well, Trump was the first person that came out and said, "I'm going to stop dealing. No, there's not going to be any stimulus." He said that. So now everyone knows that if there's no deal on stimulus, that it's him. It's all him.
I
Wow.
think that if Joe does anything, and doesn't want to debate. I think that even if he is going out, or if his the monies that we're giving to the party, I think they should start holding food banks and start holding it where people can get food. If he's going to be
Unfortunately, they
there.
can't.
Oh, really?
They can't. Yeah, 504, 50
Oh,
50D4 or whatever the rule is doesn't allow them to do that.
hmm.
Okay, so you're not optimistic about a stimulus package coming up, like
Mm-mm, no,
no?
no.
Okay.
No.
Well,
And
uh,
also, who it's always a quid pro quo. We know that now. Damn straight he screwed over Ukraine. This is who he is. Don't even try to
Yeah,
Russia? Oh yeah, for sure. We've seen his ass. His ass and everything else has been out and we know it. He
hmm,
snitched. His behavior snitched on himself. They didn't even
yep,
need to do any more investigations.
yep. And if all this wasn't enough for him,
So
remember he also
obvious.
lost
It is
that.
so obvious.
Yeah, he also lost that court case again about his taxes this week.
Hmm.
so
Yes, he
no,
did.
so no stimulus. So Americans are going to be even more challenged than ever
Hmm.
before going into this election. Then you have voter suppression, like
But
this.
5 million people have already voted.
True,
I think
true.
it puts a lot of the onus, a lot of pressure on the blue state governors because they always highlight their failures. And I think that we need to really deal with the favoritism that goes on in the red states. And if they're starving, let's just show that they're starving. If there are kids out there with their cameras, go to the food banks, put them up.
Yeah,
If you're standing in a line and you're in a red state, film it and put it online
yeah,
because this
and
country is not doing great. I don't know which country Pence was talking about last night, by the way.
yeah.
Didn't know. I was like, what's he talking, what country is
Uh,
this?
So I
and,
yeah
and
I
the truth
can't.
of the matter is that you know, Trump is not just a danger to himself to lose. He's costing Senate seats like crazy.
Wow, here's something really interesting before we move on to our final conversation piece. Aaron says, I'm still waiting on my first stimulus check. I
Mm,
qualified for it, but I've never got it.
Yeah, my daughter
Wow.
never got hers either. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
and the
He's an
reason,
incompetent fool, an idiot. I know a few people who never got their money.
and that's because they ran out.
Incompetent.
What they won't tell you is because they ran out of money.
Yeah.
Well,
The pool that they were pulling from, they ran out of money. They won't tell you that.
Right.
so as
And
I
where do you think
said,
They
that
need,
money went?
we
and
Where do
were,
we
you think
need
we
that
to,
money went?
we were thinking about doing a conversation last night after the debate,
Trump's pocket.
and maybe not
No,
doing
no,
one
no.
today.
Just one question, Dr. Vibe. Where do you think
Yes.
that money went?
Hey, maybe it was in that thing that they were wheeling in the White House that night.
No, it's paying
No,
off his $400
nope,
million debt. Paying off
nope.
his 400 million.
That's not where it went either.
Where?
It went to the wall.
Oh, because but that's the
Oh.
best place that we know they can steal money because it's that.
Yep.
Remember, I
Oh
said they can do
yes.
it. That's the best
Yep.
way. It goes to the
They
vendors. It
just
gets
they
dispersed. They laundered the money. They basically laundered
there's
it. There will never
billions
be a wall.
He
Have
Real
you
put
seen that
billions of
rickety fucking
dollars for
fence?
that wall and has not built a thing.
That rickety rack
6 miles.
bullshit at those at the
I don't hear about the wall anymore.
because it's so rickety
Six
rack. I think
miles.
I go and it falls over.
It does. Remember, part of it fell over.
And they've only been showing pictures of the part that was already done like 15 years ago.
So, catching up the comments fly again. Real Django says GOP loves putting it out there that the country is doing great. And
Mhm.
Aaron answered your question. You just said in his pockets.
Yeah, that too. It did go there. And that's probably how his little family got so rich over. They earned so much. Wink,
They
wink. Don't
they've
they
got
own the
they've got
construction company?
they've got contracts up the
Yeah.
yayo for the wall.
Hmm.
Well, final conversation piece. As I was saying a few moments ago, we were thinking about going on last night after the debate. And I said to the lady, no, let's wait till today. And then before we came on a few hours, well, Real Dangle says, I keep seeing footage of the wall falling down. There you go. This one, Wow. Like, wow. As I was saying to the ladies before, if you're a little bit older, you know about a group called the Sex Pistols, and there was a song called Anarchy in the UK. I'm beginning to think anarchy is in America because Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, there was an attempt or a plan by 13 individuals who have been charged to kidnap her.
They tried to come for Big Gretch.
Mm-hmm.
13 people charged in a plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. And I'm reading the reports now. She's put it out there that she is blaming your president for this.
And he's taking credit for rescuing her. Go look at his tweets. It's
Oh my
absolutely
gosh.
unconscionable. This man will take a he takes credit for everything. What kind of a pig is he?
You here's the thing. You don't you
He was
don't
cussing her out this morning, gave him the go sign to go take her up, and now saying, "Hey, but I saved you."
right, you don't
I
create a
hate him.
situation you don't create a situation and
Mm-mm.
then get credit for fixing the fuck up that you make. The world doesn't work like that. He was the one who was getting
Wow, the
those
clients are,
people
this is beautiful. You ladies are just bringing it tonight. Like
riled up.
Yeah. Oh, to
the
kill her
comments
is
are
awesome.
flying tonight.
But you don't. He got them all riled up with this liberate Michigan stuff. They're showing up to the state house looking for her anyway
Hmm.
with guns. I mean, not just regular guns, like AK-47s and you know weapons of mass. You
And and
know,
and none of those people were arrested.
none of them were arrested. None of them were arrested because they weren't black. Had they been black, they would have been hauled off to
Hmm.
prison.
Or
But
Muslim, forget about it.
or
We would have
Muslim,
been,
right?
oh my God. But we're calling these guys the vanilla ISIS, by the way.
But these domestic, yeah,
And they're evangelical jihad on American soil. They
So
are
right.
let's just catch up.
radicalizing people online, and they're evangelical jihad.
Okay, so let's
See,
catch up on some comments because when we started on this conversation topic, comments were flying. So Caroline says, "Why do people give him so much airtime?" That's what and I'm not going to use that word. It's a P word. Wants narcissist. Period. Black Beauty says, "Yes, not just to kidnap, but to kill her as well." Aaron, they gave more details on that, and we're talking about decapitating her. Oh my
Right,
gosh!
mhm. And blowing
Wow.
up, and they were talking about blowing up bridges and
right,
waterways and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff.
So
right.
Aaron and everyone, thanks for updating. Like I knew some of this, but thanks for bringing it in our live conversation. Aaron saying they were saying how
Yeah.
they would ambush her at her house. Caroline saying he's sick. I guess meaning about your president. And I'm just and yeah, the
And, and,
Michigan
let- and let's be
Governor Gretchen
clear.
Whitmer called for unity and condemned 45 for stoking
Yeah.
division during the coronavirus outbreak during a press conference in which she addressed a plot to kidnap her. Members of two domestic terrorist groups have been charged with Whitmer's attempted kidnap, which she said she could have never imagined when she took office.
And,
Referencing the
and let's
first referencing just let
let's
me
understand
finish.
what this is for.
Let me just do one thing. She said, referencing the
Hmm.
first presidential debate, 45 told the far right group, the Proud Boys, to stand up and stand by. The government said he is rallying groups such as the ones that plotted her kidnap.
Exactly.
But remember why the whole Liberate Michigan thing started? Over wearing masks,
Hmm.
okay? Over wearing masks. And her shutting down the state, wanting to shut down the state um, for coronavirus. But initially, she was going to sign the mask mandate that day.
Yep.
And that is why he did the whole Liberate Michigan
But
thing.
it's beyond that. He needs to be taken out of the office. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know Amendment 25, 26, 35.
Well,
God,
I'm glad you brought that up. Watch
15,000.
Nancy Pelosi tomorrow. Nancy Pelosi said she's doing something on the 25th Amendment tomorrow.
Yes, I
But
saw that.
short of all of us burning candles, I just, all I can say is that when everybody says, pray and all that stuff, we don't pray for the devil. That, if you know that, don't pray for the devil anymore. You will get burned.
Real Dango goes, ouch, Jill, Vanilla Isis, Jill. And Black Beauty says, as per NBC4 Columbus, Ohio plot was hatched in Dublin, Ohio. 6 men charged with planning the
Hmm.
attack. Now I've heard it's up to, and I've heard reports that's
13,
up to
13.
maybe
13 now.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, they
So,
got seven were from Michigan. One was from Delaware.
I don't know. Are they going to try to swoop this around and change it like they did with that Rittenhouse boy? Because you know how Trump will be. Well, they were going to do. They'll, it's just,
This is a
this
federal,
is,
but this is a federal interstate crime.
yeah.
So there's a law when it comes to trying to kidnap and assassinate a
He's
governor.
and he's twisting it. Today, they foiled a dangerous plot against the governor of Michigan. Rather than say thank you, she calls me a white supremacist. While
Yep, you
Biden
are.
and Democrats refuse to condemn Antifa, anarchists, looters, and mobs that burn down Democrat run cities. Donald Trump is a liar. He
But here's the
signaled
thing.
for those guys to do this.
He
He
did,
knows he
and
has incels all over that listen to
yeah,
him.
and he knows
so,
he didn't know anything about this entire this entire this entire takedown. He
so you,
knows he didn't know.
so Aaron is saying,
Oh, actually, I think he did know. He just got caught. They just got caught.
well, see,
I
Yeah, I
think
Aaron
don't
is
he
think he
does
saying,
knew about
know.
the. I don't think
Aaron
he knew
is,
about the takedown. I think he knew about what they were doing,
Yeah,
maybe, but not the
exactly. But he
take,
didn't know about
but
the
not the
takedown.
takedown.
So Aaron is saying 25th Amendment Section 4, which I'm going to read right now, that says, quote,
Right.
the section that addresses the problem of a president who is unable or unwilling to acknowledge his or her inability to discharge the powers and duties of the presidency, most likely to be used when there is an unexpected unconscious president, although it clearly applies if a president is incapacitated from some other mental or physical ability. So I guess that's what Nancy's going to be talking about tomorrow. Also, we've got Aaron saying this is how you take power away from him. That's she's saying the 25th Amendment, Section 4. Carolyn saying, of course it is. All Americans should stand in front of the racist house and say impeach him now. Carolyn also says he's KKK. And
I
yeah,
think that
so
he put. I think the fact that he put a U.S. governor in that kind of harm's way should be enough
yes.
to to put some kind of sanction on him.
But doesn't it
Because
have to? But sorry, not to interrupt quickly, but
no,
doesn't the involuntary transfer of power, doesn't it have to be initiated by the vice president or the majority of the cabinet?
No, no. You
I
guys,
don't
that's
know.
I don't know. That's
Because
that's America. That's you
because
guys, baby. I'm
I
staying
was
out of that
looking
one.
at that they're saying that the 26th Amendment might definitely be applicable.
So should
Mm.
I be asking the prime minister of the country I live in, Mr. Trudeau, to start getting some funds for our wall?
Yeah. You guys should all be out there brick by brick, bricking yourselves up from us because this is going to jump off. And you do know that most of those people are going to run up. They have been contaminating. They're toxic. This is a very toxic situation. And what we've just witnessed with Gretchen Whitmer
That's
is so heinous. It should put all of us on alert about what
alert.
we need to
Yes,
be prepared for
that's
around the
true.
election time.
True. It's
We
a good
really,
point, Jill.
really,
That's
Breaking
it.
really have
Because
to
so
be
if
breaking
prepared.
news.
radicals are going after people in power like that, the everyday person in the street, they better have their guard
Mm-mm.
up big time.
Seriously.
Breaking news: Trump is having rallies this weekend.
Well, you know what?
So
Maybe
there you
they'll all
go.
fucking drop dead. I don't really give a shit.
Jill,
I don't really
don't be
care
like
anymore.
that.
No, but
Don't be
why would
like
we?
that.
No, why would you? It's like somebody that you know who's going out and they keep getting STDs. What are you going to do? First of all, that's another thing. We had put people in jail for deliberately giving people
Yeah.
HIV and the transmission of that. Everybody doing this, in my opinion, should be in jail, including the president. What are we going to do? I mean, short of I
Yep.
don't even have any more words for some of this because this is really
So
um,
so we're gonna end it
unconscionable what's
then.
happening.
We're gonna end it
He
here
said he's
then.
going to be tested tomorrow.
Yep, and this says Blackbeard says, to my understanding, enacting the 25th means Pence would be in charge. Aaron says, let's be honest. The entire 45 family is a crime syndicate. This
Yeah,
has
Yep.
been going on for years. He is now doing it publicly, and his stupid cult following doesn't even get it.
true.
And
Because
it's
now
going to
he's
be,
trying out his, remember he said, I'll shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. He got a real taste for how they responded prior
yeah.
to basically all of it. He's been doing this. Now he
The
really
man
doesn't
has a
care.
taste, he's got a thirst for blood.
He
Well,
does. I believe that every death he gives to Moloch or whoever, whatever, and is like it keep gives him one more lifeline.
well,
The
on
more
that
people,
note,
more of us that, yeah, people that die, he lives longer.
on
Like
that
Trump,
note, and
like
last
he
comment
eats
by Black.
babies or
Go ahead,
something.
Jill. Any last things, Aisha?
I said it's like
No.
he eats babies or
He
something.
probably does. That's where the rumor came. It's probably him. Because that's what Kamala should have said. Don't you have to go home and eat some babies?
We done now.
Okay.
Last, and Black Beauty says, "Good point, Jill." Well,
Fucking
ladies and
ghouls.
gentlemen, if you're not doing anything on Thursday nights, you should probably be here. This is what we call Stagger State of Things with special guest Jill Jones, and they rock the house most Wednesday evenings. And if there's any more debates, after any more debates, but who knows if there are going to be any more debates for the presidential election? Is there even a need to have any more debates?
Nope.
No.
That's another. Oh, and I remember. So, ladies, on a scale of 1 to 10, uh, what are 45's chances of winning on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, he's got no chance.
Oh,
Yeah, I think the percentages are falling. I think he will just have his little group, but I think we're all coming out in droves.
still, there's a lot of time left.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing that's going to take back what he's done. He's just if they don't
Mm-mm.
give him the debates, he will unravel to hell. I mean, it's like a gift.
His,
Just let him unravel.
I mean, his people tried to take out a governor.
He will do more and more that people will just go. Decent people won't want to stand by. They
And
won't. They won't want
Aaron is
that.
saying,
Yeah.
let's talk about how he won't give up his DNA in regards to his rape charges.
Of course, I
Mm.
know. That's the
So,
so truth.
ladies, again, out of the park. Jill, if people want to touch base with you, how can they do
I
that?
I'm on Twitter at Jill D Jones or Facebook Jill Jones Music and Instagram Jill Jones
And
Music.
and then and she forgot. Well, I'll let you should go after, and I'll say something about both of you.
Oh, I am usually on Twitter. I'll be there later at Aisha Staggers.
And when they say they're on Twitter, they're actively on Twitter.
Mm,
So, and Black Beauty says that he will be when he refuses to leave office and he'll contest the election. Well, that's already happening already.
it's true.
So the election has started because, as Aisha mentioned, 5 million people have already voted.
Yeah,
Right?
five
So
million.
that sounds like it's going to be a very heavy thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am Dr. Vibe. I'm host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And once a month, I host conversations for fathers that are co-sponsored by Dove Men Care and Dad Central. Dove Men Care and Dad Central. Dad Central is Canada's national fatherhood organization. I'd like to give the roll call for people who helped us make this an epic conversation. Real Dango, Dr. Tachi, Black Beauty, Diogene, Aaron. Aaron, thank you, Aaron, for the first time dropping in. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. Caroline, I think you're a first timer also. Thank you for helping make this an epic conversation. Aaron, Aaron is saying he's going to squat in the White House. Okay. Then Carolyn says, you're the best. So I'm taking it as a collective. We take that as a collective hug from you, Carolyn. Thank you so much. As always, I'd like to say thanks to BIA Media for an epic conversation. And I encourage you to follow Dr. Vibe on, follow all of us on social media, and also follow us or follow me on Facebook and or YouTube, so you get notified when the upcoming conversations are. As always, I leave with this: live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. And remember, everyone, especially during these times, give yourself grace. Good night, everybody.